Beneath a sky overflowing with ancient stars, the iguanodon moved quietly through the sleeping forest. Its footsteps were slow and steady, pressing softly into the damp earth as moonlight filtered through towering prehistoric trees. Around it walked the rest of the herd, close enough to hear one another breathe, close enough to feel safe in the endless darkness. Tonight, as the fire beside you flickers low and the noise of the modern world slowly fades away, let us journey back together to that distant age. Leave behind the weight of the day. Let your thoughts soften like mist drifting across ancient valleys. And as the night deepens, allow the gentle migration of the iguanodon herd to guide you toward a peaceful and restful sleep. The prehistoric world at night could feel impossibly vast. Cold wind moved through fern-covered plains. Rivers shimmered beneath silver moonlight. Somewhere far away, predators called through the darkness, their voices echoing across the ancient wilderness. But the iguanodons did not travel alone. That was their strength. In a world filled with uncertainty, they survived not because they were the fiercest creatures, but because they stayed close to one another. Their lives were built upon quiet trust, shared movement, and the comfort of belonging. The herd moved together like a single living heartbeat. At the center walked the young ones, still small enough to stumble over roots hidden beneath thick moss. Around them, the adults formed a gentle wall of protection. Every movement carried silent understanding. No words were needed. Each creature instinctively knew its place within the group. The sound of their footsteps spread softly across the open land. Slow. Rhythmic. Steady as breathing. There is something deeply calming about imagining such a journey tonight. In the modern world, loneliness often arrives quietly. Even surrounded by crowds, many people carry a hidden feeling of separation deep within themselves. Minds become tired. Hearts grow restless. Days pass quickly without offering true connection. But the iguanodon herd understood something ancient. No creature was meant to cross the darkness completely alone. As the migration continued beneath the stars, cool mist gathered along the forest floor. Ancient trees stretched endlessly toward the night sky while insects hummed gently beside shallow pools of water. The air smelled of wet leaves and soft earth after distant rain. The iguanodons continued forward patiently. They never rushed. Migration was not an emergency to them. It was simply part of life itself. Season after season, generation after generation, they followed familiar paths through forests, valleys, and wide prehistoric plains. Each journey carried memory within it. The older members of the herd remembered hidden rivers. They remembered safe valleys sheltered from storms. They remembered where fresh plants grew after long droughts. And the younger ones followed closely behind, learning the rhythm of survival through trust and togetherness. Sometimes one of the herd would lift its head toward the dark horizon, listening carefully for danger. The large thumb spike upon its hand looked sharp and powerful beneath the moonlight, yet the creature itself remained calm. The iguanodon did not seek violence. Its true strength came from companionship. Hours passed as the herd traveled through the ancient wilderness. At last, as darkness deepened and the night air grew colder, they reached a quiet clearing surrounded by dense trees and soft moss-covered ground. This would become their resting place until morning. Slowly, the herd gathered together in a loose circle. The young rested safely near the center while the adults settled around them like silent guardians. One by one, the massive creatures lowered themselves carefully onto the earth. Bodies pressed gently together for warmth. Breathing slowed. The forest itself seemed to exhale beside them. Nearby, frogs called softly through the mist. Water dripped from enormous leaves overhead. Somewhere in the distance, thunder rolled low across the prehistoric sky. But within the resting herd, there was only peace. Every so often, one of the iguanodons released a deep, low sound into the darkness. Not a cry of fear. Not a warning. Simply a quiet reminder. I am here. You are not alone. Perhaps that is why this ancient creature still feels comforting to imagine now, millions of years later. Because beneath all our modern worries, human hearts still long for the same thing the herd carried across prehistoric lands. Safety. Belonging. The quiet reassurance that someone walks beside us through the darkness. Of course, even ancient migrations were not free from sadness. Storms sometimes separated members of the herd. Floodwaters could pull individuals away from the group. Harsh seasons tested their endurance again and again. And yet, whenever loss arrived, the herd did something remarkable. They slowed down. They gathered close. They mourned together. Even in a brutal prehistoric world, connection remained sacred. That tenderness became their true survival. Not speed. Not strength. But closeness. As midnight slowly drifted toward dawn, pale fog spread through the trees while the sleeping herd rested peacefully beneath the stars. The great bodies of the iguanodons rose and fell with deep, steady breaths. The rhythm was almost hypnotic. Like waves rolling gently against a quiet shore. Like distant rain falling across ancient forests. Like the calm heartbeat of the earth itself. And perhaps tonight, you can rest beside them for a while. Imagine yourself standing quietly at the edge of that prehistoric clearing. The cool night air brushes softly against your skin. Moonlight shines through drifting mist. Nearby, the herd sleeps safely together beneath towering trees. No one is rushing. No one is afraid. The darkness no longer feels empty. And as the slow breathing of the sleeping iguanodons fills the ancient forest, allow your own breathing to slow beside theirs. Allow the noise in your mind to grow quieter. Allow yourself to feel held within something older, gentler, and more peaceful than the worries of the day. Tonight, like the wandering herd beneath the stars, you do not have to carry the journey alone. Close your eyes. Listen to the distant footsteps fading softly into the mist. And let yourself drift slowly into sleep, surrounded by the timeless comfort of belonging.